Hi, this is Jim. Thank you for tuning in to the fourth video that I've produced about my truck cab camper. Today I hope to accomplish two things. First, I want to show you some improvements that I've made both on the exterior and in the interior of the camper. And then, for those of you who've never seen one of my videos before, I want to show you the interior of the video in a bit more detail. So first, let's get started looking at some of the improvements that I've made.
I'm hunting this year in some places where we have a power pole and where I can leave my four-wheeler and trailer and don't have to haul them back and forth. So that's changed my setup a bit and allowed me to do some things on the truck itself that make the truck where it's more of a standalone camper without the trailer. So if you look at the truck now, you'll see that on top I added a rhino rack and an X-rack basket to hold my chairs and my occasional table. And then I added a Smitty-built awning on the passenger side. And I've got the awning extended, and I've got the chair and the table, one of the chairs anyway, I've got two, out under the awning to give you an idea of how that might be useful.
As you looked at the picture of the truck, you may have wondered why I chose to put the racks and the awning on top of the cab of the truck instead of on top of the cap. Well, first off, I didn't want to have to drill any holes in the cap. And secondly, when I looked at the added height of the cap, I realized that I could get a nice clean level top line by putting the rack on top of the cab. I did want to point out one other thing. For those of you that are thinking about putting an awning on your truck, take a look at how close my rhino rack bars are to each other and how much of the awning extends out to the rear, kind of unsupported. It's perfectly fine. The rigid frame that they put on the back of this thing is designed to allow this to work, so you can do that without any problems. One question that I got asked via email a lot from my prior videos was, what do you do about curtains? And the truth is, I hadn't needed curtains. I had been so far back in the woods in the past. Well, this year I did, and so I'm going to show you two pictures of my solution to the curtains. If you look above my entertainment center and to the right of the lamp here, you'll see a piece of canvas rolled up above the window. That's going to roll down and create my curtain. I had my canvas sewn by the guy that does boat canvas work for me, templated to fit each window, and they simply Velcro to the bottom. In this picture, we've got the large bay window to the left of the picture, and to the right of the picture, the sliding window. I've untied the canvas on the left window, rolled it down, and done it in place, and you can see it fits nice and tight, so there's not a bunch of ruffly curtains to get in my way. And I've left the sliding window curtain rolled up to the right. Now, I did have some pieces of Velcro added to the sliding curtains, so I can bend a corner back on each one of those and Velcro it in place, and I can crack those windows open, and I can get some much-needed airflow for safety. Another big change that I made since my last video was that I made a change to one of my drawers. You may remember from the prior video that the drawer above you see here was above the wheel well, was a full depth drawer, and holds my cutlery and my spices. That drawer is still there. The little drawer that was below it didn't really hold much, so I removed that drawer, and what I've added and what you see to the left is an Iceco refrigerator / freezer, and to the right I put a more convenient place to store my heater. So in this picture I'm showing you my Iceco refrigerator freezer. I've pulled it out so you can see it, and you have to pull it out to lift the lid to get to the contents inside. This is their 12-inch model. I believe it holds 12 liters. The nice thing about this thing is that it sits only about 9¼ inches high off the floor, so it fit up under that drawer. So it's nice and short. Another nice thing is that it runs on either 12 volt or on AC. So when I'm driving down the road, I've got it plugged into 12 volt, and when I get plugged in at my campsite, I convert it over to AC power. With the lid open, you can see inside the refrigerator freezer, and you can see the compartment. Because this is the smaller size of the two Iceco models available, you only get to choose between refrigerating or freezing by choosing the temperature. Their larger model actually has a divided compartment where you can freeze in part of it and refrigerate in the other. All I'm really trying to do is keep food either extremely cold or frozen until I'm ready to heat it back up. And in my case, this 12-liter capacity is more than adequate for 3 to 4 days out in the woods. Well, other than rearranging some manuals and some cleaning supplies, that pretty well wraps up the most recent improvements I've made to the camper. As we go into the next section and I take you on a tour, let me remind you that you're going to see a drawer stack with a drawer on top and a drawer on the bottom. And I did that so you could see what that old drawer looked like that I removed to put the refrigerator in place. And when you see how little it's stored, I think you'll realize why I thought that having a refrigerator there was a better decision. For those of you who have not seen my videos before on this camper, I want to take a minute and show you the storage solutions that I've come up with underneath. First is this drawer that functions for paper plate and so forth storage, pots and pans, and can storage. And then in front of the wheel well, we've got two different stacks of cabinets. We've got a set of drawers and a door. This drawer features cutlery, and as I pull it open, you'll see a range of spices. The drawer below is a shorter drawer because it's in front of the wheel well, and right now it contains cleaning supplies and some extra electronic stuff. Moving forward, still in front of the wheel well, is where I store the porta potty that gets pulled out at night and put against the tailgate. And then lastly, right at the head of the bed platform, is the storage area where I keep my shower solution, my ShamWow that I use as a towel, a dry storage area like a pantry for food, and some clothing and extra slippers that I might need. Now I'll turn, and on the passenger side you see my little adult beverage bar, which is right next to my chair and very convenient. It holds one Tetra Pak of wine, two different flasks for liquor, and a stemless glass that's great for wine or liquor. Underneath it, I have my 18-volt fan and my heater. Moving forward, or to the rear rather, we have our little Valterra rocket pump, faucet, a little cutting board, and a tiny little sink. And when I say tiny, it's either a quart or a quart and a quarter mixing bowl, and you see my hand covers it easily. It's a tiny little sink. I'll put the cutting board back in the area. Looking at the sink and moving downward again, we're still in front of the wheel well, but we're at the rear of the wheel well on the passenger side. I've got two things going on here mainly. First off, we've got a small vanity drawer that holds all of the things that you would expect in a vanity drawer: toothpaste, toothbrushes, medicines, and so forth. And that's nice because it's right here near the sink. And then I've got a small water storage tank, just under a gallon, that I use for my rocket pump and my faucet over here. Towards the rear on the passenger side, we have our entertainment center, which I will open for you now. It opens up, and as you can see, I've got a little Nintendo NES system, a place to store my remote, my controller, my Jambox, Bluetooth speaker. And then as you turn on, the door itself is actually on a swivel, a supersonic 12-inch rechargeable television. I'll back off so you can see that better. And so when I sit in my chair at night, if I want to watch TV, or when I lay in bed if I want to watch TV, I simply open the door, choose the appropriate plug to plug into the television on the side, and can watch all kinds of shows. I can stream from my iPhone through a special cable that comes out of the side, kind of, you can't really see it, but back here. Or I can hook up the NES if I feel like playing video games. Or I can hook up the small antenna up here if I want to watch digital programming from the area. Down below the entertainment center, offset a bit, we have our microwave and our induction cooktop. And the way the induction cooktop works, if I swivel around here, is you lift back the mattress on the bed. It's a trifold mattress to create counter space to use the induction cooktop, and there's plenty of room to do that. Well, that about wraps up this video. If you've seen anything here that you have any questions about, please feel free to email me and I'll respond to you as quickly as I'm able. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate it. Have a great day and God bless.